Brighton's almost reading where he's going to go. It is a good save, but he knows where he's going to go, I think.
Possibly a record, a goal before we've even rerun through the teams. Fair play to Liverpool and Jordan Henderson. They've got Alisson in goal, back four of Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk and Konate, Keita, Henderson the captain and goal scorer, and Jones in midfield, with Firmino, Mane and Salah who assisted. They are the three up top. Brighton, we can now confirm them. It's a kind of 4-5-1 formation. Sanchez in goal, Cucurella, Dunk, Duffy and Veltman at the back. March, Bissouma, Lallana and Moda in midfield. Mwepu supporting Trossard up front. Here come Liverpool looking for a second. Good work from Mane to find Alexander-Arnold. Chance for Salah. Couldn't quite get there. Well done, I think it was, to Dunk again, who got there just ahead of the Egyptian as he tried to get his shot away about 15 yards out. And again, incisive play from Liverpool, who nearly get a second through Mo.
Well, they had a dodgy 2 minutes, but that's, at the minute, after 5 and nearly 6 minutes, that's all it's been. Because now they've settled down. And Brighton, although they've got bodies back in numbers, they look a little bit loose to me, Russ. It looks like there's a lot of gaps defensively wise, even though they're playing a lot of in a defensive way, really.
Keita dinks one in. Clever little ball from the Guinea international Naby Keita. Just put it into that little corridor of uncertainty just beyond the edge of the 6-yard box. Sanchez thought about coming, didn't. Andy Robertson not far away from latching on, and the Scot quick to praise the assist and thank his teammate.
Yeah, it's a wonderful ball from Keita, just a little bit over here. He's not looking to hit Robertson, is he? He's just looking to just leave it behind that back four for Robertson to run onto. So the ball gets there as the player gets there, but it's just a little bit over here. But as I say, apart from the opening 2 minutes, Russ, it's, the machine seems to be clicking into gear.
Most certainly does. At TalkSport Live as well, drop us a tweet. Wherever you're listening around the world, we love to hear from you, what you're up to. Send us a picture. And of course, beyond that, are Liverpool going to be champions? Get it back from Man City. What about Chelsea? All three for once, all playing at 3 p.m. on a Saturday. Very, very rare. We've got the three likely title protagonists all in action at the moment. Your thoughts on who might come out on top come May, and of all of those. At TalkSport Live, let us know. And also, where might Brighton finish? Remember, 6th heading in, already 1 down 7 minutes in. Have they already hit their glass ceiling for the season under Graham Potter or not? So City currently goalless against Palace, Chelsea currently goalless at Newcastle, 0-0 Watford, Southampton. I'm hearing there has been a goal in the Burnley-Brentford game. We'll come to that in a moment. Earlier Leicester 0, Arsenal 2. To come, Spurs-Man United at 5:30. Here Liverpool leading 7 minutes in on Premier League Live by a 0-0, courtesy of Jordan Henderson, and it could easily already be 2-1. I wonder what final score we're going to get here on this evidence.
Well, it's a very open game, isn't it? And as I said before, I think that Brighton weren't going to come here and just sit back and defend. They're going to have a go, which is exactly what Liverpool want. They want teams to come onto them so they can hit them with that lightning fast counter-attack that they're so good at.
Tempted little back heel for Brighton from Adam Lallana, trying to feed one of two players. Moda was probably the best place, but Trossard there as well. Liverpool block it and now attack again. Another clever attempted crossfield pass from Mane looking for Salah, and once more it was Cucurella who was stretched, but the Spaniard managed to get there. Assisted in midweek despite Brighton's departure from the Carabao Cup at the 4th round stage after a 2-2 draw, lost on penalties to Leicester. Cucurella with a solid game there, and having to defend solidly there, because this time it was Alexander-Arnold herring down this right flank. His cross blocked by the Spaniard and chested behind for a Liverpool corner.
Well, he's going to know he's been in the game come 10-5, 5-5, whatever time we finish these days, Cucurella, because not only has he got Salah up against him, but he's got Alexander-Arnold as well, who bombs up and down that right hand side to contend with. So he's going to need help from players in front of him, that's for sure.
We'll go to Turf Moor for that opening goal in a second. Alexander-Arnold with a short corner. It was well read and eventually headed clear by Naby Keita, the midfielder. I should say by Yves Bissouma, sorry, who was back out helping his fellow defenders. Bissouma, the Mali international, with an important interception. Liverpool just pushed back to halfway for a second. And we'll see what they can do with this one. Andy Robertson, who nearly latched onto that through ball a few minutes ago from Keita, coming forward, wearing 26, the Scotland captain. To Curtis Jones, the local boy, back into the team from the start after James Milner's injury last time out. And Liverpool in the sunshine here in the northwest, happy at 1-0 up to stroke the ball around. The excellent young Frenchman Ibrahima Konate, how well he's done since coming into the team alongside Van Dijk. He starts another slow, measured Liverpool attack. The Reds 1 up as Jones finds Keita, now to Sadio Mane, who's been buzzing and full of industry, full of feist, of course, on his return to the team after not starting that Man United game, and to be content with a place off the bench. We'll take it quickly then to that goal at Turf Moor, Burnley-Brentford.
Chance for Wood to get on it. Oh, what a goal by Chris Wood. What a goal. It was not taken on the full. Chris Wood moves on to number 49 with his goal-scoring record.
Excellent work from Burnley. We'll analyse that in a second as Brighton muster another counter-attack. It's not all Liverpool so far in the end from distance. Adam Lallana with the effort, and Kevin a bit weak and well wide.
Yeah, it was, but Curtis Jones that time taking too long on the ball in the middle of the pitch. Don't matter how much of the ball you have, you cannot take that amount of time in the centre of the pitch, and Van Dijk lets him know about it, and then Lallana gets through and rather scuffs his shot.
And fair play for a goal from Chris Wood. Brilliant last season, quiet at the start of this, but the all-white, the New Zealand international skipper, gets a goal for Burnley. At the other end, here's Mo Salah cutting in from the right-hand side with that left foot, overhits the cross, out of play. Oh my goodness, a goal at the Etihad Stadium, but which way's this one gone?
Although City have given the ball away. Zaha to Gallagher, into Zaha. He's never scored against City. He has now. Wilfred Zaha, in the 6th minute of the game, has given Crystal Palace the lead.
Thanks to Toby Gillis. Thanks to Toby Gillis there. Wow, ball given away, and Palace really punished them.
Told you they wouldn't get nothing up there, didn't I?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Crikey. To say about what Zaha and potentially someone like Vieira could do if they could just get on the same page. Wilf, if anything, with injury niggles, quiet, a bit ill after Ivory Coast national duty, you get him fit and firing and doing what Vieira wants. That could be a really, really impressive pairing.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he's their talisman, isn't he? He has to be fit, Zaha. Everything that Palace do and everything that Palace does well has always come through him.
And weirdly, this season, despite their upturn, it's been almost, I wouldn't say nothing to do with him, but he's certainly not been the key figure, has he, at all, until now?
Yeah, no, he hasn't. I'm just saying, in general, I think, over the previous seasons.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Integral, almost. At one point, there was that record, wasn't there, where if he didn't score and if he didn't play, they would never win. No. And that went on for years.
The one thing is for sure, that they're a better team with him in the side, absolutely.
But then if you've also learned to cope without him slightly too, you've got that perfect balance, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. Well, they needed to. That's for sure.
You look at Conor Gallagher, listed in the commentary there with the assist, on loan from Chelsea, fantastic young player, just the kind of young rising star for Vieira to mould. Like to Gay at the back as well. It's coming together nicely potentially. And they are leading Palace 1-0 at champions Manchester City. Who would have thought that? Chelsea still drawing. Ball given away from Alisson here, though. Just for a moment, there was a shaky moment, but it was okay in the end. And Brighton, the team that emerged with the ball. And Liverpool pressing through Firmino, win it back to Keita. Now to Alexander-Arnold. Sliding challenge from Yves Bissouma, who wins it back. And it's breathless, isn't it? Every time someone dwells on the ball, there's a feisty challenge that's flying in.
Yeah, there's no time at all for either team to settle. I'm just looking at where Alexander-Arnold is at the moment. Russ, look at this. This is your right back. Look where he is. He's 3/4 of the way into Brighton's half, ready to press, ready to pounce. And they're almost leaving 2v1 at the back, Liverpool. So Robertson's the same on the left-hand side. Their
4-3-3 is almost 2-5-3, isn't it?
That's exactly what it is. He's gone and plonked himself halfway up the pitch. Just because he knows Konate and Van Dijk are so comfortable on the ball, and they're such good defenders, he doesn't need to be back there. There goes Robertson again, look.
It's full of confidence, this. It's very effective, but of course you can occasionally get short at the back, and twice in this game Brighton have carved out opportunities. March, you should have done far better. Of course, that limpish effort from Lallana as well. It's all well and good and largely utterly dominant, but it can potentially hurt you. And at 1-0, if it gets to 2 or 3 like that, you dread to think, don't you? But at 1, Brighton will fancy still a chink, won't they?
Yeah, they'll get chances. If Liverpool continue to play like this and in this manner, where it's almost like playground football, and go and play where you want, then they will get chances.
And they've given it away, Liverpool, through Salah, but Liverpool, to their credit, then win it back. Super challenge from Konate. He then loses out as he drives forward with a misunderstanding with Firmino. From distance at the other end, it's Bissouma who rattles the post. Yves Bissouma, on his return to the team after injury, let fly with his right boot. Sloppy Liverpool nearly punish, but the post comes to their rescue. We stay 1-0.
Well, it's Firmino this time, isn't it? Giving the ball away in the middle of the pitch. Bissouma takes it off him. They back off, they back off, they back off. They still back off. He gets near the edge of the box, doesn't he? Alisson's beaten. He hits a little cutter with the outside of his right foot. In fact, it just hits the fingers of Alisson, and Cannon's back off the post. So they got a corner, and there's chances here for Brighton.
Potentially a save from Becker. Either way, it's a corner to Brighton on the far side. It's swung in. Solly March, I think it was, who took it. Not the best of corners. It was headed clear from the left edge of the penalty area by Liverpool. And one thing Brighton will need to do is capitalise and make the most of any set-piece opportunities, won't they? Not always their biggest strength.
No, not always their biggest strength, but I just think that in open play they're going to get chances today.
Liverpool coming forward again through Firmino. Remember that misunderstanding a moment ago with Konate that nearly opened things up for the away side. 1-0 Liverpool, 15 played against the Seagulls here on Premier League Live. And Brighton, having conceded that goal, having almost conceded a second, just re-stabilising themselves and trying to force their way back into the game. And crikey, a missed one-on-one and an effort against the post could easily be on the score sheet, Graham Potter's men. Here come Liverpool again though. Keita, beautiful through ball from Salah, and Firmino through one-on-one. He's lobbed it over the bar, he's miskicked it, but I'll credit Robert Sanchez, the Brighton keeper, who came soaring out of his goal, and he certainly put the Brazilian under pressure.
Well, if this game continues like this, Russ, it could end up 3-3. It's like a 7-a-side in a playground. Brilliant play from Liverpool, but again, Brighton's so loose in the middle of the pitch. Bissouma gave the ball away. Keita, lovely ball to Salah. Salah helps it on its way, and for me, and for him, Firmino must know he's got to score there.
It's a really poor miss. I just think if Sanchez had stayed on his line, it would have been an easier stroked, calmer finish, and the keeper, at least by running out, made him hurry.
He did make him hurry, but once he's come rushing out, I think the technique he tried to use was the correct one, but he just got so much on it, didn't he?
It's like one of your Sky drives, isn't it?
Yeah.
Liverpool 1, Brighton 0. We approach 17 minutes gone on Premier League Live. Elsewhere, Burnley 1, Brentford 0, still courtesy of Chris Wood. Zaha's goal after Man City had their pockets picked means that Palace are a goal up at Man City, the champions. Still goalless Newcastle, Chelsea. Watford, Southampton remains 0-0 as well. Earlier, Arsenal up to 5th with a 2-0 win at Leicester. And late at 5:30 UK, Spurs, Man United with Paul Parker and Tom Rennie. Here come Liverpool again through Mo Salah. Right edge of the box once again. Buzzing, industrious. Finds Firmino. Congested space and only Mane in the box because two of the front three had been drawn out. Options for me there.
Yeah, there wasn't many people in the box, was there? Two of your forward players, but it's such an open game of football. We've got 18 minutes and both teams could have quite easily had a couple of goals apiece.
At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. Naby Keita is just having a little bit of treatment. Of course, he's been in and out with a few injury niggles, as we well know. Keita is down, and I wonder if he's going to continue or whether, as a precaution, he might be taken off, because already Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is taking off his training bib, his yellow top, and I think he's going to do a few hasty star jumps and one or two trots along the touchline.
Well, he'll have to, won't he? Because unexpected, but Keita, you can see he looks extremely disappointed. He knows he's done something, and he looks really distraught about it. So that's someone who knows that they're coming off.
I think Keita will come off. He does look disappointed. I think it looks like a muscle injury to the leg. Would that be what you're feeling?
Yeah, hamstring or calf.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't run those off.
So Naby Keita coming off, and don't forget there's some busy and important matches coming up for Liverpool, and they're already without James Milner, they're already without Fabinho. Their midfield is a little bit stretched if one position was. Thiago Alcantara out as well. Actually, weirdly, that's four of their first choice six midfielders now on the treatment table.
Yeah, they're struggling a little bit. All of a sudden they've had an embarrassment of riches in that area, and now They're struggling a little bit. Well, not a little bit. They're struggling a lot in that midfield area.
Beyond now, Henderson and Curtis Jones, if you lose another, do you know what I think they may do, or consider it? Surely that's when you think about bringing Alexander-Arnold into midfield for a few games. Everyone says it's where he might well end up one day.
Well, I mean, he's playing there today, isn't he?
But a bit more centrally, I mean, if you see what I mean. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's comfortable. He'd be comfortable anywhere in that midfield three. Absolutely.
Very, very interesting. At TalkSport Live, keep those tweets coming in. Brent Parker, a great start for this Gooner, cooking and catching this game, and the brilliant commentary of the boys on TalkSport. A loss for Brighton and a Man U Spurs draw is what I, as an Arsenal fan, am rooting for. Will the Reds be looking for revenge, I wonder, after that Brighton meeting from last season? And Brent sending in from his cafe in Drummond, Montana, another beautiful picture of a nice triple burger that they're cooking ahead of the day ahead. Mountain time, Brent, with the chips as well on the side, or the fries as you'd say. That looks absolutely gorgeous. You like a burger, don't you?
Yeah, love one. Chicken burger I like.
Oh, okay. I don't mind one, but I would go beef all day if I could. Brent, one day I'll come and eat your cafe out of house and home. You've dared to promise it. I will definitely take that offer up. 20 gone here. Liverpool 1, Brighton 0. And it is Liverpool on the attack again through Alexander-Arnold, the aforementioned. Infield as far as Canate. And the Reds, they've earned the right, haven't they, here, just to stroke the ball around. But
then when they go, they go.
Exactly.
And they go really, really quickly.
Exactly. And it is, we can confirm, Oxlade-Chamberlain now on for Keita. That move is official. Talk that Oxlade-Chamberlain might leave in January, as we know. Good player for Liverpool when fit, but just like the rest of his career at Southampton, at Arsenal, the injuries have really hurt him. Will he be there beyond this January or not? Talk he might even go back to Arsenal, but we'll wait and see. He's on for a good 60-70 minutes today, and part of the move that led to it, Liverpool win a corner. Robertson takes it short to Mane, now to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Thought about the shot from distance, but goes right-footed infield to Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool just a little bit static and flat-footed for a second. That enables Brighton to push out and try and drive Jurgen Klopp's men back. So Liverpool add a bit of width to the attack down the left-hand side, and Jones's ball to Robertson was poor. Robertson miscontrols, then they lose it, then Brighton lose it. Liverpool then come forward through Firmino. He loses it, and Brighton knock it downfield. That wasn't the best 30 seconds, was it, from either team?
No, we're back at them now.
Approaching 22 minutes gone. Liverpool 1, Brighton 0. We're nearly halfway through the first 45 here on Premier League Live. Another long ball over the top, this time from Canate, looking for Mohamed Salah, who couldn't quite control that one with his head. Brighton pump it long. It's Trossard over the shoulder of Van Dijk. Van Dijk, though, as ever, with a classy, cool, calculated header back to his goalkeeper. There's been another goal. It's come at Vicarage Road, Watford and Southampton.
It's a good touch from Che Adams, who tries to curl it, and he curls it beautifully into the top corner. Che Adams with a wonderful finish. Watford 0, Southampton 1, and Southampton have been the better side, and they've got a goal to show for it. Bang on 20 minutes.
Thank you to Barry Swain. We said that was a tough game, nearish the bottom, and it's Southampton who lead as the ball's played over the top, looking for Salah, who hurtled onto that one on the edge of the D, and not for the first time today. Sanchez, the Brighton keeper, out quickly. This time with his feet, because he was beyond the confines of the penalty area, and he boots it to safety, getting there just ahead of Mo Salah.
Well, it was this time Brighton playing a high line. Again, not going with runners. Salah gets in behind. But for me, that's great keeping. If he's any slower off his line, Salah gets there and just lifts it over him, and it'd have been 2-0, but good keeping from Robert Sanchez.
Well, the crossfield ball from Liverpool. 23 gone. They lead Brighton 1-0 on Premier League Live. Curtis Jones does well to keep that one in play. He was the more advanced of the pair down the left this time, so plays it back to Andy Robertson, former Dundee United man. Infield to Firmino, and again Brighton are pressing, and as a 3 or 4 they edge forward and try and push Liverpool back, but it's always a temporary stemming of the tide. This time great ball over the top from Oxlade-Chamberlain. What a response from he onto the field, and it's great delivery.
So brilliant stuff from Liverpool. Work it well. Van Dijk, Canate, and it's Oxlade-Chamberlain. Look at this, takes a touch, another touch. And how do you like this, Sadio? Where do you like it? That's a teaser, isn't it? What a teasing cross. Shane Duffy stretches and arches his back, but he can't get there. Mane peels off the back of him. Look at it, wonderful, wonderful ball. Duffy can't get there, and Mane, all he's got to do is guide that. Sanchez is not going to have any chance from point blank range, and it's 2-0 Liverpool.
Tantalising. Could you say that was the dictionary definition of pinpoint?
That's the word.
Was that pinpoint?
Tantalising, teasing. Fantastic ball, wasn't it?
Superb. Liverpool, as we say, they're taking the odd chance by playing effectively 2 at the back, but my goodness, the width, the quality, the momentum, it is absolutely outstanding. And now we see them lead by 2-0 as the big screen hones in on Graham Potter, the Brighton boss. Penny for his thoughts at the moment, Kevin.
Well, he'll be thinking, we've just got to ride this out now for 5-10 minutes without conceding again, because you can still see Liverpool being sloppy at times and Brighton getting chances. I think if Liverpool score again, then they'll be in trouble.
Could that happen now? I wonder if Firmino had the option of either of Mane or Salah either side of him. As it was, he played it a bit too close to Shane Duffy, and as much as the Irishman struggled potentially for that second goal as it was played over the top that time, an important interception from the man who went up to Celtic last season, had a torrid time, but largely since coming back has slotted right back in like a comfortable old slipper, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, certainly has.
Not so easy today though, when you're up against the likes of Liverpool. And as we knew, after Brighton's strong start to the season, Man City and Liverpool back to back, it is staying that momentum, and it probably is a fairer litmus test of where they're at, Brighton. Some easier games to come, I grant you. Newcastle, Villa and Leeds, no disrespect to any of those, but that's more your run where you try to get back on track, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Brighton's season isn't going to be, defined by coming up to Anfield, that's for sure. But like I said before, no matter where you are outside the top 3 teams at the minute, in my opinion, there's a gulf, there's a gap.
26 gone, Liverpool 2, Brighton 0 on this near side. Cucurella was easily muscled off the ball. Oxlade-Chamberlain was back. He's full of so much hunger and speed and energy after, as we mentioned, yet more injuries and yet more frustration to his stop-start Liverpool career. Could have done no more than set the goal up and then put in a good tackle there, helping out his teammates. Great to see. Approaching 27 on the clock. Sanchez, the Brighton goalkeeper, looks up, goes long this time, super ball to his compatriot Cucurella, but Cucurella's first touch was not the best, and Ibrahima Konate snaffled that one up, no problems whatsoever. Mr. CEO has tweeted in, just pointing out to us with an article. Everyone laughed when Aaron Ramsdale, not everybody, I certainly didn't, went from Sheffield United to Arsenal for big money. Man of the match, outstanding today, and he is turning heads during that 2-0 win for the Gunners. Thank you very much for that. In the end from Enoch Mwepu. The Zambian hasn't seen much of the ball so far on his return to the Premier League starting 11. Had to stretch for it. Mwepu's header over the crossbar.
Yeah, good chance for Brighton. Great play from Trossard, wasn't it? On the edge of the box, all the way across the box. Rolls it. Cucurella, first touch not the best. Has to stand it up. And it's headed over the bar by Mwepu.
He's pretty tall, isn't he, Mwepu, as well?
Yeah, Mwepu is, yeah.
Clever through ball from Mane to Salah, and again Brighton's defence stands off, and Cucurella, second time around, really pleased, thrilled to see the ball end up back at his feet somehow as it cannoned off Mo Salah. The Egyptian putting the fear of God into the Brighton defence, and the ricochet there went Brighton's way. They breathe a hefty sigh of relief, but it's only a brief one because Liverpool got the throw. Alexander-Arnold to Oxlade-Chamberlain, poor pass from the Ox that time. It's won nicely by Brighton, by Yves Bissouma. He surges forward to feed Mwepu, but Mwepu again can't quite get there. And the calm, classy figure of Van Dijk makes the interception.
Mwepu's been really bright in the centre of the pitch for Brighton. Strong, isn't he? Strong, imposing figure, breaks forward. So same with Bissouma. You still feel, while it's 2, it's not absolutely one-way traffic. Brighton will get chances. Next goal in this game for me, there will be one, is all important. Brighton get it, absolutely back in the game. Liverpool get it, it's over in my opinion.
And then when it's over, that's then the real question, isn't it, about do they score 4, 5, 6, and how did Brighton respond? Let's not forget they went 3 down against Man City last weekend, changed their tactics and drew the rest of the game 1-1 to lose 4-1 and could have easily got a couple more. So you wonder whether Potter might still have another twist up his sleeve, but trouble is you're always doing it on the back foot from 2-3-0 down against these big teams.
Yeah, exactly right. Liverpool been imperious when they've been going forward in this game.
You've been managing recently, of course, and I'll ask you in a second about how hard it is to make these kind of shifts in game when you're struggling. But for now, here come Brighton. Offside, it's a late flag. Cucurella through to Trossard, waited till he touched it. Cross overhit, but that offside flag was up. How hard is it in the dugout to try and stem the tide in a game and then build a lasting change for the games ahead?
Yeah, it's difficult, mate, because you get so caught up in it as a manager. Sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees. So you've almost got to stand there, not actually watch the game going on and think, how can I change it? What personnel can I change? You start watching the other team and where your deficiencies are, as opposed to watching your own team, and then you can make changes. Generally, you have to wait till half time to get your message across. That's just the nature of the beast.
Trevor Welch and our colleagues in the Republic of Ireland carrying our commentary. Tweet from him just saying, I can't believe Liverpool ahead after 4 minutes. Join us in the Emerald Isle for the rest of this game, and of course in Ireland and in the USA and so many other parts of the world, in Africa, Australasia, you name it, we bring you these games. And of course around the world at talksport.com/EN for any of the matches as well as ours. If you want to hear the Man City game, the Chelsea game, whatever floats your boat, you can get all of them with our brilliant global radio service here at Premier League Live. And it's just a pleasure, isn't it, to bring this game to everybody around the world. So many big Premier League fans in so many different countries.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge following, especially Liverpool, your Manchester Uniteds, all around the world. Manchester City's now, Chelsea, but Liverpool, Man United, you got, I would say, the biggest supported abroad, aren't they? Away from our shores.
Definitely. I think Liverpool and Man U historically by a mile, and as much as other teams have come good in recent years, that historical fan base and that passion for these two around the world will take a long time to be beaten. Liverpool set to go top of the table as things stand above Chelsea. They're still drawing at Newcastle. Man City losing as well, unbelievably, at home to Palace. It's a good day for Liverpool so far. We've still got an hour of those matches yet to go, with all three, remember, playing at the same time for once in our Salah and by Oxlade-Chamberlain in turn. Knocks off the bench if you're just joining us for the injured Naby Keita 20 minutes in. Good challenge from Oxlade-Chamberlain there to free Alexander-Arnold. Hasty first-time ball, tried to find Salah, probably took it a bit too soon, and that enabled Brighton to make the interception. But it's a bit last gasp and a bit harum-scarum, isn't it, for the Seagulls, I'm afraid?
Yeah, it is at the moment. It is. They, when they do get out, they're creating stuff, but it's all too infrequent at the moment.
Tricky one, no question. Head-to-head, Brighton's 1-0 win last season. Stephen Alzate with the strike, 56 in, at a crowdless Anfield in lockdown in February. Is the only time they've ever beaten Liverpool in their history. Here come the Reds looking for that third. Firmino, after Mane fed him, and a super stretched block this time from appeals for a penalty. But three Brighton defenders just about collectively bring one Liverpool forward down, and that's almost what it takes sometimes, isn't it, when you're up against a team of this quality?
It is. I mean, when they're defending Brighton, they are defending with 6 and 7 defenders, but
oh my goodness, it's given away, and it's a goal for Mane. Sanchez tried to play out in the worst possible circumstance. He kicked it forward, and there was Mane 2 yards out saying thank you very much. His second of the game, his second inside 10 minutes, and Liverpool are ripping Brighton apart. It's brutal. It's Liverpool 3, Brighton 0.
Well, I'm not sure what Brighton are doing there, if I'm honest, Russ. They're trying to play out deep in the bottom corner there in the left-hand side. Cucurella inside. I'm not sure what Dunk's doing, rolling it back. His keeper's a yard off the line. Sanchez cannot go anywhere with that unless he can't even do it first time. He has to take a touch. But look how quick Mane is to close him down and hurls himself at the ball.
It comes off Mane's arm.
It does.
Last.
It does. Bounces
I'm
up
not
off
sure
his
that's
foot.
going in. Can I just say I'm not sure that's going in until it hits his arm. It's not.
No.
Oof. I don't think that should stand.
Well, it probably won't, having looked at it now, I would have thought.
So the block, I don't think this is going to stand. It's blocked first by his foot, but I don't think the block from the foot is goal bound. It definitely isn't.
No, it's going behind him, isn't it? And it's hit him on the arm.
This goal will be rightly chalked off. It was awful from Brighton. They played out at the wrong time, but completely correctly, despite the boos. Even Mane knows it. He's smiling with his thumbs up. He knew it. We're back to 2-0. It's not quite as brutal. It's still quite brutal. If you can have something like that.
Well, it is. I mean, I don't think it'll be long before another goal goes in. I'll be honest with you.
But we said, didn't we, about playing out at the right time and the right place.
Yeah.
And as you said, that was nothing like it. The first few seconds weren't the right time, and nor was them.
I just don't get what they were trying to do in that bottom left-hand corner. I really don't.
The doctrine of playing good football from the back to the front is lovely, but it does not always work, and it should not always be your go-to response. And maybe for Brighton, they need to learn that lesson, certainly when they play the very, very best. They've shipped 6 in a game and a third so far against Man City and Liverpool. It was very, very nearly 7. 35 gone. We remain Liverpool 2, Brighton 0. Elsewhere, Burnley still leading Brentford 1-0. Palace still a goal up at Man City. Southampton remain a goal up at Watford. By the way, we didn't get the chance to analyse that one. Shea Adams needed a goal. He's been a bit quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. It's but we said I still expect that game to be a draw.
And Newcastle 0, Chelsea 0, the only one of the 3 p.m. games yet to bring us a goal so far. As things stand, Liverpool would go to 24 points, Chelsea to 23, and City would be stuck on 20, but there is a long, long old way to go. Remember, Spurs Man United to come at 5:30, that's in just under 2 hours' time. That's our final commentary of the day here on Premier League Live with Paul Parker and Tom Rennie. And already Leicester 0, Arsenal 2, Gabriel and another strike for Emile Smith-Rowe. They were the goal scorers in that one. Nate Boogie has tweeted in saying, this Arsenal run has got me feeling so good, but not as good as the burger from Brent would feel inside my tummy. Nate, I think you're absolutely spot on there. And Prince Henry Cafidua at TalkSport Live, enjoying your fantastic commentary, boys, from Ghana via City FM. He sent it at 1-0, saying Liverpool may be held to a draw today. Prince Henry, I think since you sent that 14 minutes ago, very, very unlikely. But you never know. It's back to only 2, and as you said, at 2, you still got a chance. And Brighton fighting for the ball on the near side. Trossard against Firmino. They've still got some fight, and maybe the disallowed goal puts a little bit of wind back into the away side sails. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I said. The next goal is vitally important, in my opinion, because if Brighton get it, and they're not creating chances, they are. You know, when they break forward, Liverpool, because they're throwing so many bodies forward, are a little bit loose defensively, because they just want to go and score goals. But if Liverpool get the next one, then it will be game over.
Ni Ankara is listening to us saying, a great team goal for the second from my Reds, another one to add to the list. I can't watch the match, this is perfect. I'm listening to you as I tweet cheekily from a wedding. I'm loving the description of your commentary. I'm getting the feeling that I need. Come on, you Reds. So Ni, cheekily at a wedding, radio on, earpiece in, listening to us and sending a tweet. Very, very good.
Brilliant.
Not sure what the bride and groom think. They probably don't know if he's subtle. Depends whether he starts cheering accidentally. Don't do that, Nee. Just, quiet fist pump. Quiet fist pump. What you're doing, let us know at TalkSport Live, where you are, if it's fun, if it's boring, we don't mind. Just tell us and send us a picture as well at TalkSport Live. It's always a pleasure to hear from you and bring you the game's global league, the Premier League. Liverpool leading Brighton and going back top as things stand by 2-0. 8 to go till half time. It's Brighton back on the attack. Ball slid through from Lallana, asking a little bit too much, I'm afraid, from a Brighton point of view, though, of Solly March, who continued his run down the right hand side, the energetic left footer. Ball given away, and it all means that Liverpool can counter-attack again. Curtis Jones, nice backheel for Robertson to keep the ball in play, but Brighton, for once dare I say, were equal to that challenge. They try to bring it forward. Again, they lose out, and isn't that, Kevin, what Jordan Henderson does best? Tidying up, just understated, effective, and winning the ball back.
I think the biggest word you've used there, and the best description is understated. I've never understood any stick or hammer that he gets.
Looking for a third, all set by Henderson's platform, and he scored today. Here's Salah. Oh, an impudent delivery outside of the left boot from the right-hand side. I almost wonder if he took the extravagant option there, because it's almost coming too easily, as it was. Not a bad ball, but a bit too close to Sanchez, and a 4-on-4 goes to waste.
Where's Alexander-Arnold again? Brilliant ball out to Salah, and he probably trusts the outside of his left foot more than he does his right foot, and that's why he's tried that. If that had gone just over the top of Sanchez, it's another goal.
Yeah, we sometimes see that with these wide players who are left-footed playing on the right. It works beautifully, but if you try and put them out onto their weaker foot, it's not as comfortable, is it? Despite, no matter how good they are. I think of Nicola Pepe being a great example at Arsenal. I know that Salah is an even better player and a far better goal scorer, but shown to his right, you might get a tiny bit more joy. Talking of joy, good play from Leander Trossard there, who beat the Liverpool defence, far from easy. Got there ahead of Konate, played it across the 6-yard box, but with no out-and-out attacker on the field, there was nobody there, and what was good football from the Belgian ended up being a cross to nobody. It's picked up by Brighton, who come forward through the excellent Basuma, who surges forward. Sun beaming down on the left side of the pitch. In the end, he loses out. It's hacked to safety, but twice there, promising moments for Brighton.
Yeah, they're not without hope. You keep saying it, Russ. One goal back here, again, slid down the side of Van Dijk, but the other Brighton players just can't catch up the play quick enough, can they?
By the way, before last season, Liverpool had won all 6 Premier League games they'd ever had against Brighton, but only drew 1 and lost 1. last season, as we know. Lockdown and the different changes having a fair bit to do, particularly with that 1-0 defeat here in February of 2021, but all very different this time around, we can safely say. Here come Brighton though. It's a good lengthy spell. Once more it's Mwepu who starts the move to March. Back to Enoch Mwepu! Oh my goodness, Enoch Mwepu with an absolute beauty, his second of the season, his second in 2 games, and from the right hand side he took a look and chipped it audaciously and wonderfully over Becker into the top corner. What a strike from Mwepu. It's Liverpool 2, Brighton 1.
Well, it's came out of nowhere, but what a fantastic strike. And as soon as it leaves his foot, Russ, it's in the back of the net. There's no chance for Alisson to save that at all. He just backs the play up, he gets rolled back to him, and from nowhere, and it's not a cross, he's angling that towards the far corner, the far top corner. He gets rolled back, it can't be a cross. It's a wonderful, wonderful strike. And Alisson, as soon as he left his foot, he was never ever getting there. He was backpedaling, he was in trouble. And now, Brighton are back in it.
That could not have been a more perfect strike, in that it's about a nanometre under the crossbar and about a millimetre above Becker's glove. It was basically the one place to get it in, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you could see, couldn't you? As soon as it left his foot,
incredible,
it was in. As far out as he was, as soon as it left his foot, you think that's in. Alisson can't get it.
That was wonderful. We've been very lucky to have Callum Wilson's goal last week, that this week, a couple of belters the week before as well. Talking of goals, quickly to Burnley.
Plays it back to Taylor. Taylor lifts it in towards a great header by Matt Loughton, who got in front of Nico Henry. Alvaro Fernandez has gone. He stopped. He's went back. I'm talking football now, not cricket, for a quick single. And it's headed in as easy as you like by the number 2, Matt Loughton.
Former Villa man Matt Loughton with the goal for Burnley. There's been another goal in that game straight after, which we'll come to in a second, but 2-0 to the Clarets for a moment. Not so good for Brentford all of a sudden.
No, not.
Didn't see this one coming.
No, and I fancied Brentford to go up there and get something. So it just shows you the Premier League, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly does, and we'll take you back to that same venue right now. Burnley with another goal against Brighton.
A little bit jostled there by Tarkowski, who comes away with the ball, halfway line, short ball, who kills it at Cornet. Cornet's in behind, can he get it down, edge of the box? Cornet, 3-0. Burnley are rampant.
Rampant indeed, and as you say, can you get it done away to Burnley on a cold afternoon or a cold Wednesday night? And Brentford are failing that litmus test all of a sudden.
They are, and I know Brentford have only just come up, but the way things have been going at Turf Moor, surprising, I think.
Absolutely, one of the so many different reasons that we love the Premier League. So a volley of goals there at Turf Moor. Burnley 3, Brentford 0. Here, Liverpool 2, Brighton 1. Unbelievable game so far. Was 3-0 at one point with a goal disallowed rightly. And then the Mwepu stunner brings Brighton back in against the former champions despite their earlier goals from Henderson and Mane. Love it. And elsewhere, goals flying in left, right and centre as well. Palace still a goal up at Man City. Southampton still a goal up at Watford. The only 0-0 game remains Newcastle-Chelsea. Earlier, Arsenal with 2 at Leicester. And Spurs Man United to come. Can it be anything like what we're enjoying here so far? We will wait and see. What a great 43 minutes in the Premier League so far in the 3 o'clocks.
Well, this has flown by, this game. Really enjoyable spectacle, isn't it?
Told you it's much better than being in the dugout.
Oh, absolutely,
totally
mate.
made the right
Less
decision
stress,
to get out of that.
I don't get booed.
Well, there's a few people tweeting. No, there's not. We love you. We love having Kevin Watson back. I'm only reading the nice tweets about you, Al. No, I'm joking. Here come Brighton. Here's Mwepu. Dinks it through to Trossard, who's through one-on-one, and well done Alisson. Just like Sanchez earlier in the game at the other end, the Liverpool goalkeeper in his bright yellow comes surging out, gets there just ahead of Trossard. Otherwise, we could have seen the Belgian dink it by for 2-2.
Yeah, for as good as Liverpool have been going forward, I think they're being a little bit complacent defensively and not giving Brighton the respect they deserve. Because they're leaving 2 for 2, 2v1s. It's not on, and Brighton will get another chance.
Here come Liverpool, a minute to go till half-time. Here's Andy Robertson, left edge of the penalty area. Deflected cross is picked up by Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's off balance. Lallana temporarily wins the ball back, but it's won back by Liverpool again. Here's Alexander-Arnold to Henderson. Clever little cross again, back into that same corridor of uncertainty in between keeper and defender. But Joel Veltman this time, who has been quietish on that right-hand side, the Dutchman, with a good interception, wearing 34 for the Seagulls. Keita dispossessed by Firmino. Was it legally? Anyway, the referee, who was well placed, Mike Dean, is happy to play advantage, and it's Veltman, the man who made the block who brings it forward, but Brighton not too keen to go surging forward and leave any more gaps. Probably 2-1 would not be the worst way to go into half-time, would it?
No, and I think if they become a little bit more solid defensively, they will get more chances, because Liverpool, I think they're being a little bit disrespectful to Brighton, in all honesty, Russ. The way they're defending, just pushing their fullbacks high up the pitch. And Brighton are
teaching on arrogance?
Yeah, Brighton are a good team. They are a good team. You can't do that.
2 additional minutes. Liverpool leading 2-1. The lovable crew chief listening on a beautiful Nebraska morning while grocery shopping. Loving the commentary, boys. Good to hear from you, my friend. Always an absolute pleasure. As Brighton go cross-field again, looking for Cucurella. It's Salah who dispossesses him. He plays it to Alexander-Arnold. Now to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Clever through ball with the outside of his right boot from the Ox. It's slightly overhit for Firmino. Another really devastating and breathtaking counter-attack, though, as Liverpool turn defence into attack. All it would have taken is an ounce less from the Ox, and that could have been number 3.
Yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain's been brilliant since he's come on, hasn't he?
See.
He's been lively. He's been getting on the ball. Brilliant, dribbling with it, running with it, and his passing's been outstanding as well.
Mane loses out as he tries to take on 4 Brighton players at once, which is maybe pushing it a little bit, but he has scored and seen a goal disallowed in this game, and he's been a proper energetic threat, no question. When it comes to the title race, Afori Richards says Liverpool is good, but boys, Chelsea are better. Come on the Blues, we need a win today. Surprising Chelsea are goalless at Newcastle still. Graham Jones, point in his first game in temporary charge. He's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah, he is. Like I say, I spoke to someone at Newcastle in Steve Clements who said, excellent coach.
Should he have come in earlier?
Yeah, well,
dare I say.
There you go. Got them organised, didn't they? All of a sudden, they become a little bit of a different beast.
Poor touch on that occasion from Brighton. It was Jakob Mulder, the Pole, who gave it away. Just for a second, Liverpool sets the chance of a third through Salah as he bears down on the edge of the penalty area, though. Outnumbered, ball is cleared, and that's enough for referee Dean, who blows the whistle. What a half of football it's been. It's been utterly breathless. Liverpool taking the lead early on through Jordan Henderson. Sadio Mane then getting the second with assists for Salah and for Oxlade-Chamberlain off the bench. He replaced the injured Naby Keita. Thought they got a third when, again, it was Mane who blocked a sloppy clearance after poor play at the back. In the end, that rightfully ruled out by VAR. But back came Brighton. They'd had their chances. They'd missed a one-on-one. They'd hit the post. And Enoch Mwepu with this scintillating, sensational lob that made it 2-1. And that's where we stand at half-time. At the break, Liverpool 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1 on Premier League Live.
From the terraces to the touchline, if you're the ultimate football fan, you need to subscribe to the Game Day podcast from Talk Sport.
Oh yes! He's done it again!
It's the twice-weekly Premier League roundup that brings you big-name guests, in-depth previews and tough-tackling analysis from the world's biggest football league. Subscribe now to the Game Day podcast, available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get bowled over with Following On, the fast-paced cricket podcast from Talk Sport that'll hit you for 6. It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news.
And that's a beautiful straight drive.
Boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests.
Oh, you little ripper!
And fielding fierce fan reaction.
Oh, that might be out.
Don't get caught out. Subscribe now to the Following On podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
They faced bitter prejudice.
What they had to endure was horrific.
They battled injustice.
Basically, they threw the rule book away.
But their talent was inextinguishable, and they rose to become sporting icons that etched their legacy on the history of English football.
What a strike! What a finish!
Coming in from the cold is an exclusive 6-part documentary that chronicles the struggles and the triumphs of black footballers in the English game. Join Jessica Crichton as she uncovers the untold stories and hears firsthand from a host of superstar names, including John Barnes, Viv Anderson, Luther Blissett, Andy Cole, Rachel Yankee, John Fashanu, and many more.
These guys went through it all, and they are true inspiration.
Coming in from the cold, the history of black footballers in the English game. Listen to the full series now, available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tom Rennie here to tell you about a new soccer podcast called Week in the Tackle with me and Brian Dunseth.
That's right, Tom. Well, join us for new episodes every Monday as we argue about all the top soccer stories we think are worth tackling.
Plus, we'll welcome the occasional guest to join in on the debate.
Strong opinions, big stories, no agenda.
Week in the Tackle, available on Mondays from wherever you get your podcasts.
If it's a big
stand, he'll be going back top of the Premier League. Things not going Chelsea's way particularly, and certainly not going Manchester City's way either. A dramatic round of 3 p.m. UK kickoffs so far. Let's bring you bang up to date with all the goals and key moments as they've happened here on Premier League Live. Beautiful cross-field ball to the right edge of the box to Salah, arriving late and into the top corner. It's Jordan Henderson. That is your response, ladies and gentlemen. You poke the bear and you get this kind of roaring response. Henderson into the corner. It's Liverpool 1, Brighton 0.
Henderson whips it across himself. No chance for Sanchez, and after only 3 minutes, Liverpool take the lead.
City have given the ball away. Zaha to Gallagher, into Zaha. He's never scored against City. He has now. Wilfred Zaha, in the 6th minute of the game, has given Crystal Palace the lead.
McNeil 12 yards inside his own half. Left-hand side, crossing it across the midway point of his own half to the right back, Loughton. Loughton puts the ball in behind. Chance for Wood to get on it. Oh, what a goal by Chris Wood.
Good touch from Che Adams, who tries to curl it, and he curls it beautifully into the top corner. Che Adams with a wonderful finish. Watford 0, Southampton 1, and Southampton have been the better side, and they've got a goal to show for it.
This time, great ball over the top from Oxlade-Chamberlain. What a response from he onto the field, and his great delivery finds Sadio Mane. Header into the corner. Liverpool 2, Brighton 0.
Wonderful ball. Duffy can't get there, and Mane, all he's got to do is guide that. Sanchez is not going to have any chance from point blank range.
Westwood out to corner. He's forced wide. Plays it back to Taylor. Taylor lifts it in towards a great header by Matt Loughton, and it's Burnley 2, Brentford 0.
Long ball away by Guaita. Still 30 seconds or so of stoppage time left for play. Zaha looks to have turned Laporte. And has Laporte fouled him and brought him down? I think he's going for a red card here. He is. Manchester City are down to 10 men.
Westwood first time layoff to McNeil, who kills it at Cornet. Cornet's in behind. Can he get it down? Edge of the foot.
He was never ever getting there. He was backpedaling. He was in trouble. And now Brighton are back in it.
The plot thickens. Only Liverpool 2, Brighton 1. It was going to be 3-0 at 1 point, goal rightly disallowed. Back come the Seagulls. We've got a rip-roaring second half to bring you. Elsewhere, Burnley 3, Brentford 0, as you just heard. Newcastle 0, Chelsea 0, Watford 0, Southampton 1. And Man City 0, Crystal Palace 1. And as we heard there, just before the break, Aymeric Laporte sent off for City. So a goal down, and now down to 10 men, Kevin Watson.
Yeah. Kiss of death, wasn't it? I can't see Palace going there and getting anything, and now they're winning.
We did give Vieira some love, though.
Yeah, we did, yeah, so we take some credit for that, but yeah, they're 1-0 up and City down to 10 men, but let's face it, it is Manchester City. You know, they're not out of that game yet. I think Palace will need to score again to win that game, I think.
And Chelsea only 0-0 at Newcastle. We've chatted about Graham Jones. We heard about Chelsea ringing some changes for this one. Just wonder what their second half response will be under Thomas Tuchel. Having gone back top, the last thing they want to do is then slip back off the top almost instantaneously.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they need to improve. We said that Graham Jones is highly regarded, highly thought of as a coach, and he seems to be doing a very, very good job at the moment while he's in interim charge. But like I say, you know, they're missing Werner, they're missing Lukaku. I didn't think Havertz was himself last week either. So they're struggling a little bit. for firepower, I say for firepower, they beat Norwich 7-0, yes, but Norwich are way out of their depth in this league. Newcastle, not so much, I don't think.
Just looking at the Chelsea bench quickly, not that much out and out attacking brilliance on that bench either, so we'll watch that very, very closely indeed. Just back quickly to our game then. How do you see the second half panning out after an epic and very hard to quantify first 45?
Well, I don't think anything's going to change, Russ. I mean, Liverpool could have had 3 or 4, couldn't they? And we did say that the next goal in the game was going to be all important. If Liverpool get it, you feel
which we thought they had.
Yeah, but then obviously it got overturned. You feel that the game would have been done. 3 goals coming behind from 3 goals at Anfield, unassailable if you ask me. But Brighton were having their chances. I think Liverpool disrespected them a little bit by the way they only left 2 at the back, and Robertson and Alexander-Arnold were playing high up the pitch like wingers. So when the ball turned over, there was a lot of space for Brighton to attack and create chances, which they did. And now they have got that 3rd goal. So 2-1, and they are completely and utterly back in the game now. So it could go anyway.
Stay with us is your message here on Premier League Live. Eddie Kenny enjoying the fall colours while driving from Lexington to Owensboro, Kentucky in the rain, loving the commentary as ever. He feared for Brighton, then the goal went in and he's gone, maybe there is a way back for Brighton. Thank you, Eddie. And Rick Stratton listening in his car driving up to Green Bay, Wisconsin for a youth hockey game. You guys are the best. You never drive alone. Very good, Rick. Come on, you Reds, and that's exactly what we are here for. After us, Spurs against Man United at 5:30 UK. The brilliant Tom Rennie and Paul Parker commentary team. Let's hear from the 2 bosses heading into that one. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of Manchester United, and of course the man who's in charge of Spurs these days, Nuno Espirito Santo.
We had aspects in our game that improved very well. For example, against Villa, we had many shots. On the first half of the West Ham game, a game that we played good, under my perspective, in terms of control, in terms of possession. In the first half, we had that momentum, we have chances. In the second half, we didn't. We had situations with final touch that didn't improve, position of the players. So it's up to us to find. Individual, the players has to improve. We are here to support and find the solutions. This is what we do. But unfortunately, we're not able to be consistent enough.
They're proper professionals, good players, good people. They come in, do their best. We have, as I said, the environment in and around the place here. We have loads of respect for each other. Sometimes when you come in for criticism like we do, you get into the trenches with your teammates, and that's that reaction I've seen this week. And you know, this club with whatever we've been through before, it's always about getting through with courage, togetherness, teamwork, self-belief, and sticking together, and this group has done.
Not been plain sailing for Nuno, or clearly for Ollie, the latter particularly of late. Kev, just really quickly, your thoughts on this and on those 2 bosses?
Well, it's going to be a really interesting game, isn't it? Both are going through a sticky period. Both will be nervous going into it. I just feel that there's something about Manchester United, something about when Solskjaer comes under real pressure. Historically, he keeps producing results. You know, they've had a terrible result against Liverpool at home. I mean, it can't get any more embarrassing. One of the biggest rivalries, Manchester United and Liverpool, and they get beat 5-0 at home. But they always, on his team, always seem to react when you think they're on the back foot. I fear for Tottenham today. I don't know why. Probably because of the reason I've just given. I think Manchester United will show a reaction.
We shall see. Away from home, often better, as we know as well. That's to come. But up next, the second half of Liverpool against Brighton. The Reds just 2-1 up on Premier League Live.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Brighton and Hove Albion from Anfield. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me is the former Tottenham midfielder Kevin Watson, and this is Premier League Live. Players have made their way out onto the field for the second half. There's the whistle from referee Martin Dean, and we are back underway. Liverpool now kicking from right to left from our vantage point of play in this game, isn't it? 2-1, which barely tells about a quarter of the story. This first 10 or 15 minutes for me, Kevin, of the second half could well be definitive.
Yeah, I think it could. At the moment, I think Liverpool going forward, fantastic. But defensively, they're giving Brighton a chance. And that's why it's not a game where you can see Liverpool absolutely running away with it, because there's always chances for Brighton.
Lallana to Cucurella. Here's Solly March. He picks up the ball and is nearly upended on the left edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Now Leander on in with his right boot. And well done Sadio Mane, who latched onto the cross, got there just ahead of Joel Veltman, who was arriving late down the right, and Mane heads it behind for an early Brighton corner in this second 45.
Well, good diligent defending from Mane, which you wouldn't associate with him normally, but Veltman got forward from right back, didn't he? And look, Mane's had to get back in there and concede a corner.
Yeah, Alexander-Arnold would not have got there on that occasion. Good play from Sadio Mane, goal scorer in this match already. Another chalked off and an important defensive contribution there from the excellent Senegalese. Second minute of the second half, 2-1 Brighton down. Their corner was a good delivery from this near stand side, and well done to Alisson, the Liverpool keeper, having to come bravely and stoutly through his own players and through some opposition ones to punch that to safety, Kev.
Yeah, good punch, wasn't it? He knew he couldn't catch it. And Salah then hooks it clear, but Basuma back to Sanchez, who then smashes it straight back to Alisson, and Liverpool have possession of the ball again.
Liverpool looking to win 20 Premier League games unbeaten, which would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? 24 in all comps, 20 in the Premier League. Last time they lost was back in March, and they went down 1-0 again without fans to Fulham. 14 wins and 5 draws since. Here's Mohamed Salah bearing through, round the keeper, into the corner. It's oh so easy for Super Mo, and Salah gets his 16th of the season already. He can't stop scoring, and this one is taken away. Oh, the referee's assistant waves his flag. It's offside. I was about to go into a barrage of Salah stats. We won't get them because we stay 2-1, and he is narrowly offside. I'd say by about 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah, spoiled sport linesman. That's what it was. No, he was just offside, wasn't he? It was brilliant play from Mane cutting in from the left-hand side. Straight ball, diagonal run. That's what they always say, general rule of thumb, a straight ball to diagonal run. But Mane's second touch just took it a little bit further away from him than he would have liked, which meant that was that all-important split second where he ran offside.
End-to-end stuff. Here come Brighton again. Solly March with the clever little back heel. Here's Adam Lallana through one-on-one, left edge of the box, had to fire early. Did so. Good save from Alisson after an unbelievable back heel. Then Liverpool tried to play out from the back. They nearly give it away, and Alisson smacks it downfield. Mane's gone down with a potential blow to the head. That means that the medical teams will have to come on to check that. Just incidents and drama everywhere, littered all over the field. We've got bodies, we've got chances, we've got everything.
Well, this could end up anything, like we said. In the middle of that first half, there's chance after chance at each end, and Lallana would like to think that he should have scored there. It's helped back in from Basuma. Lovely little clip round the corner. There's a good ball. Back heel. And Lallana's in. It's a great strike, and Alisson's going the wrong way. But just somehow the ball gets caught up in his legs.
The back heel from March to free the veteran former England man, and of course we should say former Liverpool man. I haven't even mentioned that. Lallana up against his old team today. That would have been something, wouldn't it?
It would have, yeah. And Alisson got lucky there, if you ask me, because he's expecting the shot to go away to his right-hand side. But Lallana smashes it towards a near post, and it just gets caught in his legs. Fortunate the keeper.
Great chance for it to be 2-2, and it's Brighton coming forward again. Was Lallana offside? March chests it down. A late flag. May have been March actually with his run. One or the other, just offside. And another Brighton counter-attack, and a promising one, is snuffed out by the officials. Let's take a little look at the replay. It was March. Just. I say that one's a bit clearer. And one thing I was going to say, by the way, with the goal that wasn't for Salah, by the new rules that were being mooted and aren't in yet, there'd need to be daylight now, wouldn't there, between two players for an offside. There wasn't daylight. I'm not saying that the decision was wrong, but if those rules ever do come in the Premier League, That's the kind of goal that would stand, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah, because his whole body weren't clear of the other player, was it?
About
was only
quarter
half
of it.
Yeah. And that's the sort of thing you'd like to see in favour of the forwards. I know it would drive opposition managers mad, wouldn't it? But if that's the rule they want to bring in, that's the rule they want to bring in, then you've got to live with it.
It's been debated, mooted. It is in place, of course, in some parts of the world. Here in the Premier League, though, there have been changes to really try. And it's the Brighton goalkeeper who plays a low flat ball downfield. Sanchez slightly miskicked that, and it was Andy Robertson who made the interception. Just shy of halfway for Liverpool to Curtis Jones. Now to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who apart from one misplaced pass has done very well since coming in for the injured Naby Keita about 20 minutes into that game. If we hear anything about Keita, we'll let you know, but with three other central midfielders already out, as we were saying in the first half, certainly a note of caution for Jurgen Klopp's Reds, who lead this game. They're currently going top of the Premier League table, but European matches to come this month as well. It is something of a worry. The Ox gives it away there. Cucurella with a nice interception. Plays a quick 1-2 with Adam Lallana. And here's Cucurella, the Spaniard, back to Lallana. Excellent play from Brighton. Left edge of the box to Trossard. Curling effort. I think it hit his own player. I think that caught the back of Lallana. Henderson, the other number 14 for Liverpool, was scurrying back. And I'm pretty sure the effort from Trossard hit his teammate. And as a result, Becker wasn't forced into another sprawling save. End to end, yet again.
Moment. And again, Liverpool are not going away from what they were doing in the first half. You look where Alexander-Arnold is, where Robertson is now. They're just playing 2v1 at the back, and I'm not so sure when the ball turns.
Goals in this, their 10th Premier League game of the season already. That's their best since 1987. Good chance for number 30, but Firmino again today could have done better.
Yeah, I think he's been a bit off it today.
Yep, I agree. Well, he has been on and off at times for, you could say, a year or two compared to his very best.
Yeah. Shot on, I think perhaps a dink to the back post.
The pace and momentum of this game. Mane dispossessed by Dunk, but the ball ricocheted off the Brighton captain straight back to another red jersey. And it's Liverpool midway inside the Brighton half who can come again. Trent Alexander-Arnold up against his man on the far side, which was Jakob Moder this time, the Pole who was tracking across to be the extra man. Liverpool win the throw, and they're just slowing things down. It's not quite gone their way early in this second half. Will we see a slight change of pace and approach, I wonder? Here's Salah, beats Cucurella. Back to Alexander-Arnold, now to Curtis Jones. East Bissouma, as he loves to do, is quickly on the young number 17, and Jones forced all the way back to Konate and all the way back to the Liverpool rear guard. Again, nice play from Brighton.
Yeah, real good pressure on the ball, wasn't it? Forcing Liverpool backwards.
It's interesting, when they were 3 down against City, they stuck to some doctrines, made some changes and finished well. And in this one, they thought they were 3 down, it went back to 2. But again, we've seen Brighton respond and close the gap and play well. How long will that last, I wonder? Here's Oxlade-Chamberlain. His effort from the edge of the box is blocked. The ball ricochets to Henderson, looking for his second. He plays it to Jones. Nice pass to Alexander-Arnold. First time delivery. Hoping to find Sadio Mane on the edge of the 6-yard box. And again, Brighton's defence get it partially clear. Then they win it back through Bissouma, who slips. And East Bissouma does well enough to find Trossard. Trossard tries to keep it in play. Loses it to Alexander-Arnold. Now to Salah. Now to Henderson. Diving challenge ball eventually to safety. And suddenly Brighton could potentially counter-attack. But it's one player up against 4. Poor old Solly March has got 4 to try and deal with. He does well to even keep hold of the ball. Robertson, though, eventually wins it back.
Well, good play, Solly March, as that ball broke to him. He knew he didn't have the pace to run it up the pitch. So he's almost run on an angle, wasn't he? Allowed his players to get up with him. And then a little 1-2, and he's managed to get his team a throw on the halfway line. But this is end-to-end, this game. You wouldn't like to call which way the next goal's coming from.
Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool boss, with I wouldn't say a bemused look, but a slightly quizzical look on his face.
I'm sure he's a little bit concerned, Russ, if I'm honest.
Yeah, if you're him at the moment, you are winning again. You're on this unbelievable unbeaten run. But a game that you look to be dominating and ripping wide open. Maybe the slight hubris of the formation, some of the approach. It's come back to haunt you. One disallowed goal, a strike at the other end, and it's an utterly different ball game. 56 gone, 2-1 Liverpool. Salah begins another Liverpool counter-attack to Firmino. The Fab Three, like the red arrows, are swarming forward, but the ball from Firmino to Mane wasn't great. Mane as well seemed hesitant, and that allowed Joel Veltman to make the challenge.
Yeah, it's poor again from Firmino, isn't he? He looks laboured. For me, I think it won't be long before we see Jota on the pitch.
Of course, himself has scored 4 this season.
Yeah, in a
played last time
change.
out and was sacrificed for this game.
I think he'll be on the pitch soon.
Diogo Jota, who's done very well since coming in, as we know, from Wolves, the Portuguese. Will he come on for the final half an hour or so? I think that Kev Watson is probably spot on. Talking of Klopp, by the way, he's on 199 wins in all comps in charge of Liverpool. Will it be number 200 today? If it is, it's not going to be as easy as he thought at one point, is it? And that is a worry moving forward.
Yeah, it is.
Liverpool going forward once more. They continue to lead by 2-1. Still Burnley 3, Brentford 0, Man City 0, Palace 1 with City down to 10 men. Still Newcastle 0, Chelsea 0 and Watford 0, Southampton 1. Salah goes down, appeals for a penalty, but half-hearted appeals. I think he managed to almost run into Cucurella. There was a good view from referee Mike Dean, who was having none of it. We look at the replay. Cucurella tracking across. There may have been a slight shove as Duffy also blocked, but you're going to struggle to get that given, I feel.
Yeah, he's not going to get anything for that. It's good defending, in my opinion.
At the other end, here come Brighton. Here's Trossard, who almost beats Van Dijk. Van Dijk forced backwards, but the big Dutchman just did enough to force the Belgian wide. Trossard had to rush his shot from an acute angle. Van Dijk, almost like a one-man defence, keeps Brighton out at the other end as Liverpool's fans roar the Reds on. It's Liverpool on the counter. Jones to Mane. Cutting in field, blocked in behind for a corner. Brighton think it came off Mane last. Veltman thinks it should be a goal kick. It is a corner kick to Liverpool again. End-to-end stuff. How many times have we said that?
Well, this game is so stretched, isn't it? It's almost like the last 5 minutes of an FA Cup tie, where both teams don't want to replay and they're trying to win it. It's unbelievable. And as we say, the game could finish any score.
Brighton unbeaten away from home in the Premier League this season, even though they haven't won in their last 4 in the league as things have plateaued a tad. But 2 wins and 2 draws on their travels in the top tier heading into this one. Only a goal down, but defending to do now. It's Liverpool's corner. Robertson, outswinger, headed partially clear to Oxlade-Chamberlain. The Ox pulls the trigger, struck it sweetly, but the direction was wanting, and that one, Kev, flies about 4 or 5 yards wide of goal.
Yeah, good strike, wasn't it? It was worth a go. Came out on the volley. He's just hit it, but he's just dragged it wide of the post.
Replacements coming on. Alexis McAllister, the Argentine. One for Yves Bissouma. Bissouma's played well, but he's only just back from a medium-term injury, so managing your minutes, that will make sense. And McAllister, off the bench, has a goal in him. All 3 of his Premier League goals for Brighton have all been as a sub. Could McAllister have a little say in this one, I wonder? Decent player, isn't he?
He is a decent player, yeah.
Good pedigree in South America.
Yeah, he is.
Van Dijk has now gone down. I think March tried to swing at the ball and missed, and possibly kicked his man, I'm not sure. And Van Dijk on the floor is far from happy. He's pretty angry about this.
Let's have another little look at it. No, he's not meant it, is he? Ball's there to be won. And they've both gone in. They've both missed the football. And he's took an unlucky one, Van Dijk, but there's no malice in that at all from March.
Approaching the hour gone, Liverpool leading 2-1. Tim Reed, in response to your tweet earlier, asking on social media what would have happened if Brighton had started with a recognised striker. Good question from Tim, because it might have been better, or it might well have been worse, because the extra man in support without Neil Maupay has actually proved crucial, hasn't it, at several times in this game?
Yeah, it has. I think to a certain extent it's worked well, and Tim's actually a friend of mine. But yeah, imagine if they did have 2 up top, but it might have left them a little bit loose in deeper areas, where they've been good today, by the way, with Mwepu and Bissouma in the centre of that pitch, Lallana breaking forward. They're a good team, Brighton. They are a good outfit.
And against these top teams, when the chips are down, they haven't then down tools and been thumped. They've come back and either won or drawn the rest of the matches so far. And as we say, a good start to the season, and plenty of winnable games to come in a slightly quieter month. Only the 3 matches for those out of the Cups or not in Europe in the Premier League in November. Might be another little springboard for Brighton, as long as they can stay in this game. Even if they were to lose it 2-1, I think they can take quite a lot, weirdly, moving forward out of this, but they're clearly going to be hell-bent on getting something if they possibly can, and why not on this balance of play now?
I think they're getting stronger as the game goes on.
Totally. Here they come again. Through ball from Mwepu, who really has gone deep, but it was a poor ball. It was cut out. Here's Salah, outside of the left boot, shot early to try and maybe bamboozle the Brighton defence. Options around him were a tad limited. The Egyptian had a go, And in the end, it was straight at the Brighton goalkeeper. But yeah, he'd have struggled to really have found anybody else from where he was for me.
Yeah, he would have. How many times has he done that in his career, especially his Liverpool career, Mo Salah? When he just takes the ball really quickly, takes a shot quickly, tries to catch the keeper unawares, little toe pokes through people's legs, etc. That time he's tried to hit with the outside, he sort of round the defender and catch Sanchez out, but unfortunately he didn't manage to do that.
Salah only the third Premier League player to have ever scored 10 goals in his first 9 games to start a Premier League season. Saleh Ferdinand did it way back in 95 to 96. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, of course, did it for Everton last season. It's the only other times it's happened. Salah again turning on the edge of the penalty area, but out-muscled by a man who's about a foot and about 5 stone bigger than him in Lewis Dunk, the Brighton captain. Dunk did well, surged forward. Mane, to his credit, tracked back and stuck with his man. And when Mane's up for it, he's a very good all-round player, isn't he?
He's a fantastic player. He really, really is. He's got a little bit of everything, Mane, even defensive side.
Yep. And he is up for it more often than not, we should say. Now Brighton try to over-elaborate, they give it away. Liverpool try to counter-attack, and for once Salah just panicked slightly and gave it away too early and telegraphed his attempted ball to Firmino, and that meant that Brighton won it back in midfield, and it's now Brighton back on the attack. 2-1 down, 62 minutes to go, far side. Trossard tries to find Lallana against his old team. Lallana that time though miscontrolled. Liverpool get it back, and they go all the way back to Alisson and start all over again. Mo as well, head to head, 5 goals and 4 assists in 8 previous matches in the Premier League against Brighton. So 9 meaningful contributions in 8 games. He's also got an assist, don't forget, in this game already as well. So that is 10 in 9. Will he get his goal over the course of the rest of this match? Do you fancy him too, or not, as the time ticks down?
I wouldn't bet against anything happening in this game.
Well, he's had one disallowed, of course, for offside.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Well, he's had one disallowed for handball.
But I wouldn't say he's been quiet, but he's not been really in the game loads, has he?
No, that is very, very true. Ball given away by Liverpool by Curtis Jones. Here's Solly March, right end of the penalty area. Mwepu to Lallana. Tries to jink across over the top. It falls back to Lallana. Gets there ahead of Firmino, but decent work from the Brazilian there. Not had his best game offensively, but he was the extra defensive man there. Ball's knocked over the top as Brighton commit bodies forward, and well done to Dunk again. He's not the quickest, but the big number 5 sliding across on the counter got there just ahead of Sadio Mane. Otherwise Liverpool might have got their third. Still they lead 2-1. Liverpool take that throw quickly, and they switch the passage of play from left to right. Alexander-Arnold to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Now to Firmino at the other end. Shot block, Mwepu back, who seems to be doing everything today. And that one trickles harmlessly into the hands of the Brighton goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez.
He really does look like he's lacking a bit of confidence to me, Firmino.
All his best work has been defensive, hasn't it?
Yeah, and even there was no way he was going to be able to get that shot off and get it on target. He would have been better off retaining the football.
Interesting tweet from Phil Joseph, who says, if Spurs lose today, his opening record, this is Nuno Espirito Santo, would be actually worse than the oft-mocked Christian Gross. Wow, if that's true, that's a worry.
Yeah.
Is Gross the one who came and waved his tube pass around?
Came on the tube, yeah, that's the one.
Didn't really work out, did it, for the Swiss? Interesting. Well, Philip, thank you for that. And of course, that is up next, 5:30 UK, hour and a bit, Spurs, Man United. Already 2 managers under pressure. Here though, Brighton look for the equaliser. Opportunity for Trossard! Oh, what a wonderfully worked goal from Brighton. Lallana against his old team unpicked the lock, and the brilliant Belgian Leandro Trossard gets his second of the season. Right-footed, low finish into the corner. We've got a game on. It's Liverpool 2, Brighton 2.
Well, a wry smile from Jurgen Klopp, but I'm not sure what he's smiling about. His team this afternoon defensively, and we keep saying it, are too loose. They're too loose. Brighton come forward with Cucurella. Great ball into Lallana. He takes his time into Trossard, and look at that for skill. Just dances inside Robertson, who's had to come all the way over from that left back slot. Brilliant from Lallana. He's had to come all the way over.
Because there's no one else there.
There's no one else there, but look at his feet, Trossard. He knows what he wants to do. He's calm. He doesn't panic. 2 little touches inside, and bang, unerring finish into the near post area. And Brighton are completely and utterly in this game now.
Do you know what? 2-0. It's about to be 3 when the goal is rightfully disallowed. We said at that point it was brutal. just the turnaround has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Brighton had shown signs before, I totally get that, but it's one thing to knock at the door, it's another to come from 2 down at Anfield in front of a ton of raucous fans and make your game 2-2, 66 in. I wonder how much of this was the learnings of the final half an hour when they improved against Man City.
Even when Liverpool were threatening to score every time they attacked in that first half, they were still loose defensively, wasn't they? Brighton weren't out of it. They were creating chances. They were creating half chances. Then all of a sudden they got their goal, 2-1 at half time, and the game has taken on a different complexion now. Brighton are the team that's playing most of the good football. Liverpool are trying to hit them on the counter-attack. And if there's to be another goal and a winner at this moment in time, you've got to say that it could be Brighton.
Incredible. Brighton don't score that many goals either. Their matches have only had 18 goals in them in their entirety at either end heading into today. That was a joint low with Wolves. Suddenly this one has seen them score 2 and ship 2. It's had nearly as many in this as about half the rest of their season. Cucurella from distance. Oh, it's palmed clear from Alisson, but Cucurella tried to get in on the act. Tariq Lamptey is now on. It falls back to the youngster who's had an injury ravaged 18 months. Lamptey wearing 2, puts his header in. It's put clear, but only as far as the other sub, Alexis McAllister. And Brighton now with a rampant team as another cross is dinked in from the left. That's blocked by Alisson, but Brighton nearly going ahead.
Russ, Liverpool are all over the place. Simple as that. They are all over the place defensively. They've completely lost their shape. Cucurella this time, wonderful strike, straight at Alisson, but there's only one team knocking on the door at the minute, and it's not the home team.
This is just unbelievable. I'm loving every minute of this. We talk about all the positive stats and all the brilliance of Jurgen Klopp, but this one is completely wide open, and this 2 at the back philosophy, as it was for a huge chunk of this game and kind of almost still is now, it's come back to bite the former champions massively. They're still not losing, let's be fair, every chance of still winning it. They've still got a 38% win probability according to the new Premier League stat of winning this compared to Brighton's 17. As Mane puts in a cross, it's headed clear by Veltman, who's had a good quiet solid game. Header clear was poor on that occasion though. It was Mwepu trying to find Lamptey, and in the end Liverpool get it back, but not at the moment in a destructive area of the field. It's only on halfway for Konate. Penalty out to Oxlade-Chamberlain, and now Liverpool just stroking. Feels like slightly aimless passes they need. Who'd have thought this after the brilliance of much of their attacking play earlier? An injection of pace and class and quality. We've not seen enough of that in recent minutes, and as Kevin says, the defence has been ragged. It's been ripped wide open, and Brighton fully deserve their 2 goals, don't they, to get this one back to 2-2.
Yeah, they do, and it's unusual for Liverpool, isn't it? It's almost going back to that Aston Villa game where they lost 7, was it 7-2?
Yep, absolutely. Loose ball to Salah, right edge of the area, but 3 Brighton players, including Duffy, all around him. McAllister was back helping out. Cucurella was back as well. Suddenly Brighton tried to counter. Delightful touch from Lallana to Trossard, out to Cucurella, now to Mwepu, who's through. Here comes Mwepu! Oh, great block from Alisson. 1-on-1. Enoch Mwepu looking for his second of the game. Lamptey was there as a potential option. I think he did right to shoot. Effort saved. We stay 2-2.
I think he would have been given offside. It's brilliant play again, isn't it? This one here, yeah, he's just offside, Russ. Look, but having said that, you still feel he should have scored, don't you? Brilliant save from Alisson.
Lamptey wanted the ball played through to him, but both reasons, I think. A, he was probably right to shoot, and B, narrowly offside. We stay at 2-2. Absolutely unbelievable. Now here come Liverpool again. You cannot take your ears, eyes, any sense off this game. Robertson's cross, chested clear, appeals for handball against Dunk. I think that hit the upper part of his chest area. It was close to the shoulder, but he's got away with it. Play goes on. Slightly clumsy challenge. Mwepu's challenge on the back of Curtis Jones has gone down. And Liverpool, about 3 yards out from the penalty area on the left-hand side, have put a free kick in a promising position all of a sudden.
Yeah, they have. I'm not sure they were right to play out there, Brighton. Have a little look. Robertson's cross again.
Actually, looking at the replay, wasn't great. I thought it... Oh, no, we're okay. I think it ricochets up off his knee. No, we're okay. That would have been a very harsh penalty to have given.
It would have, yeah. His arm's right next to him, isn't it?
Off his knee, up onto that upper torso area. Quite right not to be given. But regardless, that slightly clumsy challenge from Uepa, who otherwise has been outstanding in this game, has given Liverpool a free kick, as we say, just to the left-hand side and about 4 yards out from the edge of the box, to quickly bring you up to date. Watford 0, Southampton 1. Man City 0, Crystal Palace 1. City down to 10 men. Who would have thought that? Burnley still lead Brentford 3-0. Who would have thought that? 2-2 in our game, with so much to talk about. We'll probably struggle to do that for weeks and months on end. Quickly taken free kick as far as Oxlade-Chamberlain from Henderson, and that all went awfully wrong. Whatever training ground routine that was from Liverpool was a complete disaster.
Yeah, it was, and not a lot is going right for them at the moment. That sort of sums up their second half, doesn't it?
3 players over the ball, Salah not involved, and in the end, short from Henderson to Alexander-Arnold, and that was not good at all. I didn't mention Newcastle-Chelsea because there's been a goal there. Let's go to St James's Park.
Hudson-Odoi skipping past 2 towards the byline, gets the cross in, flicked away from the head of Loftus-Cheek, back to Reece James, left-footed shot, lashed into the roof of the net, and Chelsea have the go-ahead goal. It's taken more than an hour, but Newcastle's defensive barricade finally breached by the league leaders. Newcastle 0, Chelsea 1 on Tyneside.
Tim Long, and I guess it was a matter of time, and as things stand, how things turn, it's Chelsea not just going back top, but maybe being 3 points clear now that Liverpool aren't winning. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, things change by the minute, don't they?
I certainly do. So Chelsea, courtesy of Tim there, on Tyneside lead through young Reece James, 65 minutes in. Here, we stay 2-2. Veltman, now to Lamperty. Did he keep that one in play? I think he did. That was very acrobatic and very hungry and brave play for a man who's been out for absolutely ages, Tariq Lamperty. Great to see him back, and also happy to slide into the ad hoardings that quickly after coming back as well.
He's a real talent, that boy.
Yeah.
It's good to see him back. I was really impressed with him every time I saw him during that lockdown period where no fans were allowed in the ground, or in the grounds if you like. He was outstanding talent, he is.
They've since signed Tomiyasu, the Japanese, but I know that Arsenal, just before that injury, knowing that Bellerin's days were numbered, they were eyeing him up as their new number 2 big time, weren't they?
They were indeed.
Not to be at the moment, but he's back and he's looking hungry, but Brighton give the ball away. Here come Liverpool again. Robertson feeding Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oxlade-Chamberlain with, again, 3 Brighton players around him. Did well, showed good physicality and hunger to stay on his feet, and he forces Veltman, Kev, to concede a Liverpool corner.
Very good play, wasn't it? Knows he's in the box, knows he can't be touched. Drive in, run. Veltman gives away the corner.
So Southampton, Chelsea and Palace all a goal up at Watford, Newcastle and 10-man Man City respectively. Burnley 3 up against Brentford. We're 2-2 as Alexander-Arnold bends in the corner. Good one, partially cleared. Henderson from distance, caught in 2 minds, I think, whether to shoot or to try and jink one in. In the end, he almost does neither, and it runs harmlessly out of play for a Brighton goal kick. They defend the danger relatively effectively again.
They defended it very well. One thing you do when you clear a corner is get out quickly to the man on the edge of the box so they can't get shot off, and that's what they did there, and chested the ball up, didn't he, Jordan Henderson, but it wouldn't drop down quick enough, so all he could do was toe poke it towards the goal, and it was never going to trouble Sanchez.
So just to say, it's Lamperty on for Moda, the pole off, and now Pascal Gross is about to come on for Lallana, who he's not as old as us, we're far older, but he is advancing in years a tad, Adam Lallana, by current playing standards at least, so he's given a great shift. And on will come Pascal Gross, the German, who largely is in the starting 11 but dropped to the bench for this game. Mistake for a second by Dunk there. Cucurella comes surging across to try and stop Mane capitalising. Mane still going, deep cross, overhit beyond Salah. And in the end, Brighton through March get it clear. He beats Jones to the ball. Just for a second, Brighton nearly set their own downfall going, didn't they? But they got away with it, and now Brighton counter-attack. Great play from Lamperty, he beats his man. It was Robertson that he beat. Through ball from Lamperty to Trossard, open goal! Oh, Brighton lead! Brighton lead at Anfield from 2 down. Trossard second. It's Liverpool 2, Brighton 3, and no! The offside flag is up and we stay at 2-2. I don't believe it.
Oh, another offside goal. Yes, he's just offside, isn't he?
That would have been a goal of the ages. Trossard, after a scintillating counter-attack, all started by Tariq Lamperty. beat his man, slid it through the legs of Konate, and he was, again, the natural silhouette, he was just off. There wasn't daylight, but a bit like Salah's before, 3 or 4 inches offside.
Just offside. But in my opinion, Brighton are going to go on and win this game. I've not got an awful lot right today, though, so they probably won't thank me for saying that. But Lallana's getting a brilliant ovation. Obviously, an ex-Liverpool player, isn't he? And he's had a terrific game today.
Yeah, fair play to Lallana, and on comes Pascal Gross, as we say. I'm going to go the opposite. I think that was the zenith, that was the moment for Brighton, and now it's not happened. I think Liverpool will win it 3-2. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but that's my feeling. We shall wait and see. Can lightning strike again or not? Here comes Robertson at the other end for the Reds. Tries to find Mo Salah, who still hasn't scored in this game, unbelievably. Liverpool win the secondary ball through Virgil van Dijk, who's suddenly in an advanced position. Mane swings it in. Good powerful header, clear in the end from Shane Duffy, the veteran Irishman. Up to halfway, looking for Solly March, who, with Alexander-Arnold and Konate on him, eventually loses out. Long ball forward from Konate, cut out by Cucurella. 76 gone, 2-2. Now Brighton with a disallowed goal to go with the 2 disallowed goals for Liverpool. All we can say, technically correct. Mane's clearly so. The other 2 tight, but again, by the letter of the law, by the current law, those the right decisions as well. Is that a fair way to sum it up?
Yeah, I think so. It was extremely tight, that one, wasn't it? Great ball, great run again. Diagonal ball, straight run. It's been a terrific game of football, and Brighton are so composed with the ball.
Last 10 minutes, Brighton have had 80% of the goal threat in this game. Absolutely crazy. Ripple has tweeted in, which is Niels Jensen, saying, loving your call of the Liverpool game, boys, as I listen in St. Louis, Missouri. Watford last week, Burnley, this relegation goal differential battle is starting early, and that's certainly how it felt. But my goodness, since you tweeted that, as the tide turned, I can tell you. Wow. JSS as well saying, Mwepu, what a goal. It's my goal of the week so far. I think you're right, bang on there, because it was absolutely glorious. One of many wonderful goals we've had in this slot in recent weeks. Brighton tried to carve out another. Gross's first touch is to hug the byline, come cutting in along the dead ball line, play it off Mane for a Brighton corner. Hello.
Yeah, great switcher play again, wasn't it? Cucurella getting himself up the pitch, slides it into March, who's been excellent, by the way. He's worked all the way across that front line and run his socks off today. Solly March.
78 gone. Liverpool 2, Brighton 0. Liverpool a bit frustrated, the Kop in particular, that Brighton are taking too long to take this corner.
Well, I'm not so sure that they're time wasting. They look like the team that's going to win the game.
Has taken a while though. Lamperty with a quick chat with his man. It's bent in from the far side. Duffy's up there. Loose ball. McAllister tried to turn and get his shot away. It was blocked, but I tell you what, Alexis McAllister was about 4 yards out, and it nearly fell to the Argentine for a 4th Premier League goal off the bench for the number 10. Not to be, but Liverpool's clearance is shoddy once more. Jota, by the way, has come on a moment ago, and it was he who was caught in 2 minds. Tough challenge in. Illegal challenge, says referee Dean, he was well placed. And it's the man who scored that goal, Mwepu, who's gone down. Curtis Jones, the guilty party. And it's now Brighton's turn for a free kick, probably about 6 or 7 yards out from the left edge of the box. Slightly further out, Kev, than where Liverpool wasted their chance 5 minutes ago.
It was great feet from Mwepu, wasn't it? Really good feet. And it is a foul. Curtis Jones shaking his head, but it's a foul. And Brighton, the big boys will come up here, and a good delivery could see Liverpool in a bit of trouble.
And it's Firmino, as you predicted, off for Jota, so maybe you can have another go at this managerial lark one day. or not. Maybe just do this with me.
Or not.
Just hang out with me, 3 p.m. Saturday. That's where it's all at. March after a delayed free kick. Oh, it finds Mwepu at the far post. Mwepu was unmarked, ghosted in first time delivery, and he'll be frustrated not to have done better.
He'll be frustrated and disappointed that he's not helped that back across the goal, because Mane can see him there but doesn't mark him.
Another long ball over the top by Brighton, looking for Trossard, who's kept it in somehow against Jones. Tries to play it off Jones, back heels it out, and Jones did well to only concede a throw rather than a corner. Here's Cucurella. Now to Gross, back to Cucurella. Lamperty's lurking with intent as well. 2 Brighton players, edge of the 6-yard box. It's Henderson who gets there first and smacks it to safety. More good play there from Jordan Henderson. Veltman helps it downfield. Blocked though by Andy Robertson. Robertson tries to find Salah. Nice block, trying to atone for that slight error from Mwepu. And the ball trickles out of play for a Liverpool throw right beneath our vantage point, Kev. Bang on halfway, 10 to go, 2-2. This one is sensationally in the balance, I feel.
Yeah, it is. And I'm still sticking with my prediction that Brighton are going to win this game.
So you're going to go 3-2 Brighton?
I'll go 3-2 Brighton.
I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool.
Okay.
Pint on it after?
Yeah.
Deal. Agus has tweeted in, I'm a Liverpool fan, and this game is the very reason why I love my club and why we love the Premier League. Give a team a chance to come back, and they will take it. Talk about game on, #COYR. Agus, that's a great tweet, and it's so true. You love your club, and you love this league, and that's why. Liverpool down the right-hand side through Jota, dispossessed. Paul cleared as far as Canate, who wins it back for the Reds. To Jones, now to Henderson, head up. Feels like a lifetime ago that he scored the opening goal. 4 minutes into this, we've had pretty much an entire flood, a torrent under the bridge since. It's been crazy. 4 goals, 3 disallowed ones, so many other talking points as well. Here's Salah, right edge of the box for Liverpool. Back to Mane. Alexander-Arnold makes a run. Salah opts not to use him, and maybe wisely, because Mane's happy to see that trickle out now for a Liverpool corner, Kevin.
End to end again. Mane, it's clever from Mane. He knows he can't get that ball anywhere into the box. He knows he can't find a teammate, so what does he do? Just plays it off the legs of the Brighton defender, and they get a corner.
Absolutely bonkers, this. I've loved every second. 2-2, and it's Alexander-Arnold. Deep, outswinging delivery, looking for Salah. Veltman gets there ahead of the Egyptian maestro, and it's Cucurella again with that long, flowing brown Spanish hair who helps get it clear. Up as far as March, who did wonderfully, had 3 players on him, Solly March, and took out all 3 of them. Finds Tariq Lamptey cutting in field to his left foot. 3 Liverpool players on him, but Lamptey keeps his footing. Middle of the park to Alexis McAllister, now to Cucurella. The attackers lost a little bit of momentum, but still Brighton have the poise and quality to keep hold of the ball. Trossard thought he'd scored a potential winner. I certainly thought he did. Got all excited a few moments ago. He scored 1 in this game, 2 for this season. Inches away from another that would have gone down in folklore. And Liverpool this time just keeping their shape, much more poise, much more quality to their defending. They force Brighton back. Duffy brings it forward to Veltman, the Dutchman wearing 34. He's now got 3 Liverpool players around him, and it's the Seagulls who once again stroke the ball around.
Well, you don't often see this at Anfield, do you, against Liverpool? They've retained the ball for a minute and a half. Lamptey came in on the right hand side, probably should have found Cucurella out on the left but didn't, and it looked like the chance had gone, but they've retained the ball now for 2 minutes.
And another goal at St James's Park. We'll go there in a second as Trossard tries to find Mwepu. I think that one's gone out for a goal kick in the end. It has. Brighton asking yet more questions. Another goal though at St James's Park.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and the goalkeeper's down, and it's lashed in this time by the right boot of Reece James. 2 thumping finishes.
Wow, goals with his left and his right foot for Reece James. What a fantasy league man he'd be today with a potential clean sheet. And 2 goals for Chelsea. Chelsea, thanks to Tim Long there, 2 up at Newcastle, and now reinforcing their lead at the top. Incredible.
Yeah, seems like they've done a professional job up there today.
Here come Liverpool. Oxlade-Chamberlain, options left and right, delayed, and in the end it was a poor pass. Tried to find Andy Robertson. The Scottish captain had come roaring up on his left, but it was a good block by Veltman, and again it's Brighton who counter-attack. Lamptey does brilliantly, finds Solly March, who's offside. He did his best to try and delay and stay his run, did Solly March. He's then shoved over by I think it was Alexander-Arnold, who's frustrated again at what he feels is a bit of time wasting from Brighton, who didn't give him the ball back. Anyway, listen to that roar here at Anfield, Kev, as Liverpool take the free kick quickly on halfway. They come forward again. The atmosphere, the game, everything, brilliant.
And how good has Lamptey been since he's come on? We said he's a really bright prospect, but he's been outstanding down this right hand side.
It's been about a year.
Been a year,
isn't it?
He's outstanding. He's going to be he is an outstanding talent.
Still only in his early 20s.
Yeah.
Great to see Tariq Lamptey back, and don't forget Basuma back after as long an absence, but 2 of the most notable players for Brighton who didn't leave in the summer, unlike Ben White, both back and playing well. Crossfield ball from Liverpool, looking for Andy Robertson, who heads it back in first time, trying to find Diogo Jota. Ball ricochets up into the air off the Portuguese, nearly as far as Sadio Mane, but Brighton defend it well. And again, they've got it to safety. 5 to go, 2-2. Of course, the third option is this stays as a draw, be it 2-2 or 3-3. That could easily happen as well, couldn't it?
It could. Oh, please get up. You don't want another injury to this lad.
Lamperty's down and holding his left ankle. Crikey, I hope that's nothing too serious, because he's come on and been excellent, been wholehearted in every sense. Let's hope and pray that Tariq Lamperty is okay, because that would be the very, very last thing that this brilliant youngster deserves, is to have another injury.
Well, let's just hope it's an impact injury.
We'll watch that very, very closely indeed. Just to remind you, by the way, after us, it is Spurs against Man United, with Nuno Espirito Santo and particularly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer both under massive pressure ahead of a huge game with Paul Parker, the former United and England fullback, and Tom Rennie. I'll give you the teams. Lloris, Royal, Dyer, Romero, Davis, Skip, Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Lucas, Son and Kane. That's the starting lineup for Spurs. For United, De Gea, Lindelof, Maguire, Ronaldo, Fred, Fernandes, Varane is back, Cavani, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka and McTominay. So Rashford on the bench, Greenwood on the bench. Interesting calls from Ole Gunnar.
Interesting calls, but what's the definition of madness? Keep doing the same things over and over again, except expecting a different result? I've in years, Russ, but extremely, extremely good footballer, and in my opinion, unfortunate to find himself, or to have found himself out of this United team. Can he go in and make a difference today?
Off here goes Curtis Jones. On comes Minamino, the Japanese, who scored in the week along with Origi as Liverpool beat Preston in the Carabao Cup to reach the quarter-finals. Next up there will be Leicester. Here they're trying to take care of business, and in the end it was Jota who broke. Salah's effort was blocked. Shot from distance from Henderson was blocked. Appeals for handball from the shot. I think it was McAllister who made the block right on the edge of the penalty area. Play goes on, fans still baying for blood, and Liverpool keep hold of it 35 yards out. Nice counter-attack. Shot from Henderson. They want the ref to go to VAR, but we continue for now. Listen to the Liverpool fans, buoyed on by that controversy. They're trying to suck the ball into the net and get that third goal for the home team. Still it's 2-2 Liverpool with 2 minutes to go here on Premier League Live, and a sliding challenge with studs up there from Minamino. Got to be very careful there, the Japanese. And he's got a yellow card with his first touch, and I think that probably for me is fair enough. I'll get the reaction from Kevin in a second, because there's been another goal at St James's Park.
Relatively straight run up for Jorginho, bends his run, steps up, sends Darlow the wrong way, fires it high into the net. And the message from Chelsea is catch us if you can.
Professional second half indeed, and here yellow card for Minamino. I think probably right.
I think that's fair. He's only just come on, he's not got up to the pace of the game.
But it was clumsy.
Clumsy, miscontrolled it, lunging after his own mistake. It's a booking, but it's nothing more, Russ, I don't think.
Wow, 2 minutes to go. Lamptey making a real difference since he came on. I had a tweet from Gar Mancy saying it's Lamptey, not Lamperty, but I had a tweet last time he played before his injury saying exactly the opposite, so not 100% sure. But either way, whether it is Tariq Lamptey or Lamperty, he is just brilliant, isn't he? And I'm really pleased that he's come back out after that injury. As you say, impact only it seems, and he's back to full speed as he hurtled down, and he's now, though, hurtling back in defence, because it's Liverpool making it work down the right-hand side potentially. Mo Salah up against Cucurella. Ball ricochets off the Spaniard high into the now greying clouds. The sun that was out, that was basking Liverpool in glory, has almost been a microcosm of the game. It's now colder, it's murkier. And all that sun that shone down on Jurgen Klopp, it's not quite like it anymore either, is it, at 2-2?
No, it isn't.
30 seconds plus time added on to go. 2-2 as Klopp still looks for that 200th win in all competitions in charge. Salah's run of 10 in 10 could be about to come to an end. A club record run in all competitions. Or is there one more sting in the tail of this game? Liverpool have won a free kick midway inside the Brighton half. Lamptey is refusing to go back his 10 yards. He's about to be booked, I think, or is he not? The white spray comes out to mark the 10 yards. Not sure if Lamptey was booked or not. Trossard came to argue. Anyway, finally the free kick is taken by Robertson. Chested down, it goes loose. Appeals for handball by both teams. If anything, I think the handball was by Liverpool and by Konate as he tried to bring it down to feed Sadio Mane. 4 additional minutes. Brighton get it partially clear. They're maybe tiring a tad, understandably. They belt it downfield. It's won back by Liverpool, but it won't sit for Oxlade-Chamberlain. It goes out It trickles out for a Liverpool throw. Very exciting, isn't it?
It is, and I always say, my favourite saying is there's always one more chance. I know there's only three and a bit minutes left. Will we get one? There normally always is.
Looking at the replay there, I'd say if anything, the free kick or the penalty shout, if there was one, we almost go Brighton's way rather than Liverpool. I think the officials got that spot on. Another foul, this time a professional foul from Shane Duffy, who's happy to bring his man down and kill a few more seconds with 3 minutes to go just on the edge of the box. Duffy, the wily old fox, I think had no choice there. Yellow card, free kick given away, and one more chance for Liverpool with 3 minutes to go, and another free kick on this left-hand side, Kevin.
You think this is coming into the Brighton box, don't you? It's certainly a free kick for a tug back on Mane. No point messing around with this, playing it short, put it into the box, see what happens. Robertson's got a fantastic left foot, as we know. It's going to be an outswinger.
There's the whistle from Dean. Robertson, nice delivery, but Sanchez gets there, decided to come, and that was spot on for Robert Sanchez, who soared above three Liverpool attackers. Now Brighton, 2.5 to go of time added on. They counter through the excellent Cucurella, who's had a brilliant game, back as a regulation left back rather than wing back for much of this game. Van Dijk is forced to come all the way out from central defence, hack the Spaniard down, and now Brighton have got a free kick. It's a long way out, but suddenly the momentum is back in their favour with 2 additional minutes to go.
Well, it just goes to show you, 3 and a bit minutes left. Liverpool with a free kick in a wide area, Robertson. The keeper catches it, and instead of falling on his sword, if you like, and time wasting, he's bowling it out to Cucurella, trying to go and get Brighton a winner.
Some Liverpool fans are leaving. They're going to the exit door, and Alisson has gone sliding out of his penalty area, but to his credit, he contorted his body like some kind of rubber man and just about managed to keep his hands and the ball in the area, even though under hefty pressure from Trossard, the rest of his body was out. Talk about a contortionist there, my goodness. Could escape from any kind of box, couldn't he, with that?
He's done well, didn't he?
Yeah, very, very good work. It's David Copperfield, isn't it, the famous escapologist? I think he'd have been proud of that contortion. About 1.5 minutes to go. Off time added on, still 2-2, and it's Liverpool back on the attack through Salah. Was there a shove in the back there? Oh, the shove in the back has gone Brighton's way. Duffy appealing, Robertson's furious, but Brighton have won a free kick, and Andy Robertson is the man penalised, in some very choice words for Mike Dean there, the referee.
That's a push in the back, isn't it?
Yeah, on Veltman. I agree. I totally agree. And Robertson's got a yellow card, I think, if nothing else, for his verbal barrage. Now, Klopp is looking bemused and shrugs his shoulders, more at the stage of the game, I'd say, than that decision, because I agree with you, I think that was cut and dried in Brighton's favour. About 30 additional seconds to go. Long goal kick downfield from Sanchez. Was Lamptey shoved in the back by Robertson, who's got to be careful, possibly, but he gets away with it. Flyboy Spagbol, by the way, says great commentary, but I think it's Lamptey, not Lamperty, so I'll go with that from now on, boys. Thank you for your feedback, it's always appreciated around the world.
Well, whatever it is, he's a fantastic player.
I agree. And McAllister's just been fouled here. Canate the guilty party, but I guess what's good for Liverpool, if anything, is this one is deep back into Brighton territory, isn't it? It's not, you think, going to prove costly. You'd think.
Yeah, and I think the game's all but over now. We didn't get our last chance, but what a wonderful game we've had, Russ. It's been end-to-end and really great advert for the Premier League, this.
Yeah. Into the 5th of 4 additional minutes. There'll be time, I'm sure, to pump this one downfield from Brighton, from Shane Duffy. And that's all there is time for. It's an unbelievable game. It's been mightily, mightily enjoyed. And it's finished 2-2 in the end. Henderson and Mane for Liverpool, Mwepu and Trossard for Brighton. We thought Trossard had won it, but it was narrowly disallowed. Earlier, Mane thought he potentially won it. His goal disallowed. Salah with a strike ruled out as well. Post hit, drama left, right and centre. A wonderful advert for the Premier League. Liverpool 2, Brighton 2, the final score. We're going to head to the Etihad for that Man City game and late drama in their game against Crystal Palace. Here's Toby Gillis.
Floated across by Rodri now to Mahrez. Everybody bar Zaha behind the ball for Palace. Into the box it goes towards Diaz. Dealt with by Ward. Gallagher releases Elise. Crystal Palace with 2-on-2 here. If Elise can go in alone, against Stones, twisting, turning him. There's loads of space here for Wilfried Zaha. First touch is poor, really poor. He had a chance to shoot. Twisting, turning, finds Gallagher. Elise, Gallagher! Palace seal the win! A famous win against Manchester City! And condemn Pep Guardiola on the occasion of his 200th Premier League game as manager to a defeat! A shock defeat! The champions are going to be downed, and it's Conor Gallagher with the clinical finish. The move looked like it had petered out with a poor first touch by Zaha. Manchester City surely beaten now with 2 to play. It's Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 2.
Great work from Toby Gillies there, and we are still playing 2-0 Palace, courtesy of Zaha and Gallagher. And City, remember, with Laporte sent off toward the end of the first half. 5 additional minutes at the Etihad. We've just gone toward the end of the 3rd minute of those. Let's analyse that for a second first, Kev Watson. What a surprise that is. But as we said, Vieira, he's going places with Palace, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
They probably should have picked up 1 or 2 better results than they even have of late. I covered their game at Arsenal, which was 2-2 that Palace should have won.
Yep.
This is a great example, isn't it, of them really clicking and really delivering to some of that promise.
Well, he was a fantastic player, wasn't he, Patrick Vieira, and it looks like he's now taking that into the management side of
with
things.
With a bumpy, slightly early start in New York and at Nice.
Yeah. But he's now taking it. He's back in the Premier League, a league that he knows extremely well. He knows what it's all about. And he's taking Palace forward, isn't he? They've changed their style of play from what it was under Roy Hodgson, and what a result to go up to the Etihad and win there. And what do I know?
So City would have 20 points. Liverpool have got 22 after just drawing against Brighton. Quick word on Chelsea. Suddenly now 3 clear at the top. It was a slow burner, but when they got going away at Newcastle, 3 goals has seen them win that one pretty comfortably, hasn't it? Are they the standard bearer of the 3-0 under Thomas Tuchel?
Yeah, I still think Liverpool are the team. I think they were out of colour today, off sorts,
and maybe with the wrong plan of 2 at the back.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't get that. It's not paying Brighton any respect. And like I said before, they're no mugs. They're high up in the league, and they will hurt you going forward. They didn't rest on their laurels. They didn't come for a point, like we said. Even at 2-0 down, they still played good football. And the second half, they were by far the better team, in my opinion.
Wow, absolutely brilliant stuff. Kev Watson is going to stay with us for the next few moments as we analyse, just after the top of the hour, what has been an unbelievable day in the Premier League. And about 15 seconds to go, I'd say, up in Manchester, where City, with 10 men, still trail Palace by 2-0. Thanks for everyone's tweets today as well. And as Tim Van Horn has said from Memphis, Tennessee, excellent work from the team as ever. You just never know what's going to happen in the Premier League week by week. And Tim, my friend, you are spot on. One of so many reasons why we love it. And that's all ahead, don't forget, of Spurs Man U to come as well, right here on Premier League Live.
From the terraces to the touchline, if you're the ultimate football fan, you need to subscribe to the Game Day podcast from Talk Sport.
Oh yes! He's done it again!
It's the twice-weekly Premier League roundup that brings you big-name guests, in-depth previews and tough-tackling analysis from the world's biggest football league.
Oh, what a finish! He's beaten the keeper to it!
Feel the might of the top flight. Subscribe now to the Game Day podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get bowled over with Following On, the fast-paced cricket podcast from Talk Sport that'll hit you for 6. It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news.
And that's a beautiful straight drive.
Boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests.
Oh, you little ripper!
And fielding fierce fan reaction.
Oh, that might be out.
Don't get caught out. Subscribe now to the Following On podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
They faced bitter prejudice.
What they had to endure was horrific.
They battled injustice.
Basically, they threw the rule book away.
But their talent was inextinguishable, and they rose to become sporting icons that etched their legacy on the history of English football.
What a strike! What a finish!
Express yourself.
Coming in from the cold is an exclusive 6-part documentary that chronicles the struggles and the triumphs of black footballers in the English game. Join Jessica Crichton as she uncovers the untold stories and hears firsthand from a host of superstar names, including John Barnes, Viv Anderson, Luther Blissett, Andy Cole, Rachel Yankee, John Fashanu, and many more.
These guys went through it all, and they are true inspiration.
Coming in from the cold, the history of black footballers in the English game. Listen to the full series now, available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tom Rennie here to tell you about a new soccer podcast called Week in the Tackle with me and Brian Dunseth.
That's right, Tom. Well, join us for new episodes every Monday as we argue about all the top soccer stories we think are worth tackling.
Plus, we'll welcome the occasional guest to join in on the debate.
Strong opinions, big stories, no agenda.
Week in the Tackle, available on Mondays from wherever you get your podcasts.
If it's a big story in soccer, we'll tackle it.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
An improvement week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Listening to Premier League Live. I am your host, Russell Hargreaves, and coming up, full coverage of Tottenham against Manchester United with Tom Rennie and the former United and England's defender Paul Parker, and we'll reflect on an unbelievable afternoon in the Premier League already with two cracking top stories for you. Man City, the champions, lose 2-0 at home to Crystal Palace and have a man sent off, and Liverpool take a 2-0 lead against Brighton and end up drawing 2-2 and could have easily lost. Incredible. On top of all of that, Chelsea extend their lead at the top, slow burner, but they win 3-0 at managerless Newcastle. Those just some of the stories of the day. We'll reflect on them all in just a couple of moments, Kev Watson and I, but we've got a huge game kicking off in about 29 minutes' time. It's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Two managers under pressure in Nuno and Oli for Spurs against Manchester United. Let's get the team news from Tom.
It's a game between two managers.
Iniciais, Porto com Diogo Costa, João Mário, Pepe e Marcano, ainda Zaidu, depois Uribe, Vitinho, Otávio, Luís Dias, Taremi e Evanilson. A formação do Bessa com Alireza, Canon, Rabi, Garcia, Pascal, Nathan, Amash, Makutai, Rimão, Sauer, Kenji Gorré e Petar Musa na frente de ataque da formação de João Pedro Sousa. O Futebol Clube do Porto, já o disse o Paulo Sérgio, e a verdade, está em busca de um recorde. Sérgio Conceição pode chegar ao 38º jogo sem perder na Liga Principal Portuguesa e pode aqui igualar um recorde de Artur Jorge, mas para isso não tem que perder frente à equipa do Bessa, já o disse, não vence há 6 jogos. O Futebol Clube do Porto vem de uma derrota na Taça da Liga, mas no campeonato está claramente na luta pela primeira posição e sabe que vencendo hoje, já neste desafio, vai pressionar o Benfica, que joga a seguir. O Benfica tem 24, o Porto tem 23 e mais o Sporting, que joga a partir das 9h15 da noite em Alvalade e tem também 23 pontos. Portanto, poderá olhar para o Dragão a partir de baixo para cima. Arranca a equipa do Bessa, Cláudia.
Tal e qual a primeira posse de bola para a formação de João Pedro Sousa.
A bola já está no Pepe, vai o Porto para o ataque, bola para a direita, bola para João Mário, vai arrancar o passe para trás, a bola na direção do Diogo Costa, vai sair da área, bate a bola para a esquerda para Zaidu, recebe o nigeriano, vira-se para o meio campo contrário, a dá a bola para trás para o Marcano, Marcano dominou, bate a bola para Pepe, recebe Pepe, sem marcação, tem terreno para avançar, vai o Caraquinha, o grande craque da formação do Futebol Clube do Porto, vai bater a bola já para o meio campo contrário, bola batida para a esquerda, não chega Luís Dias, corta a formação do Bessa, a bola vai para o espaço azul e branco. Atenção ao Porto, bola já no Vitinha. Vitinha vai agitando, dá a bola para trás, a bola para Uribe, abre à direita, a bola para João Mário, recebe a equipa do Porto, a bola para João Mário, vai meter a bola para trás para Pepe, instalado no meio campo contrário, dá a bola para Mateus Uribe, bate a bola para Luís Dias,